With liberty and justice for all.
Right, maybe see. Thank you for getting the meeting started. Roll call, please.
Martin. Here. Honey. Here. Ready. Holmes.
Here. Okay, currently 4 present with Mouse and Copeland absent. Take a quick peek at the agenda. Is there a motion to approve? Motion by Holt. Second by Graham. All in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? Anybody here this evening for citizens participation? Anyone like to come forward for citizens participation?
I'm Faye Weiss.
Yes, ma'am. Come on up. Come on up. State your name for the record, please, ma'am.
Okay, Faye Weiss. I'm with the Crawford County Fair Board. We are here just in case you have questions or we might have questions for you ongoing. We want to keep our partnership and we appreciate all of your support last year. We understand we're in phase 2. And so if there's anything you need from us, just reach out. One of the officers is going to try to come each meeting in case you do have questions for us. Okay?
Very good. I would also say try to attend the parcel games as well, because they're definitely going to be working really close with you guys. Do you have all the necessary contacts for the park board?
Roger is one and Jerry Manone, right?
Yeah, Jerry is good contact for just about anything around here. So.
And the contacts will be official by the email.
Okay, yeah, so you guys are on email chain. I forget when they're holding their meetings right now, because in the winter time it's a little sketchy, but yeah, just communicate with the park board, attend their meetings, attend ours, and we'll get through it. Absolutely.
The next one is January 24th, next Tuesday. Okay, thank you.
Perfect, thank you. Anyone else here for citizens participation? Hearing none. Is there a motion to approve our regular meeting minutes from January 2nd, 2024?
Motion.
Motion by Martin, second by Holt. All in favor say aye. Opposed? As well as the special meeting minutes for those who were there, January 5th, 2024. Motion by Holt. Second by Tony. All in favor say aye. Opposed? Meetings minutes are approved. Bills to be paid. Do we have any questions about the bills to be paid this evening? No questions about the bills to be paid, or a motion to pay the bills as presented? Motion by Haradi. Second by Tony. All in favor say aye. Opposed? Budget revisions. Do we have any budget revisions to be presented?
I do. Real quick. Apparently the 23rd is the Tuesday, not 24th. Okay, that's okay.
That would be next week.
So the first page is my memo. You'll notice that I had to adjust revenues to account for court collections, and there was an increase there. There was also an increase in electric for patronage rebates. We had some increases in penalty revenue for water and sewer. Slight increase in interest income in the treatment plant fund. Small increases in revenue in the gas tax and vehicle tax, miscellaneous increases in small revenues, increase in revenue in transportation. We had to allocate some new revenue that we anticipate coming in this budget year from the airport, from ARPA, that I heard about last week. So that was our revenue changes that we added in this round of revision. For expenditures, increase, and I apologize, it's not tax, it's insurance and property insurance for 2024. Also a new fob entry door system for the police station. A rise in fuel costs have caused an increase in fuel costs in our departments. Increased overtime for our police, grounds, electric, water, sewer, and natural gas. Increase in aviation fuel supply due to the fuel tank project. Budget for court dues and subscriptions that's semi-annual or annual. Several small miscellaneous expenses which have increased since July. A new additional pool pump for the pool, replace grates for the pool, remodel the Route 66 Tourism Center, and increase salaries for the tourism employees. And I would like to note that while we've adjusted overtime again this budget, I would like to point out that we are not adjusting as much this time as we did the first time. We still need to constantly monitor all overtime to ensure that overtime is warranted. While I realize that emergencies can happen, we need to control all scheduled overtime. That is what we need to monitor and try to control when possible. We are still improving, and I would like to thank the department supervisors for controlling that overtime cost throughout the fiscal year. As far as fuel costs, while we are currently in the economic situation seeing a drop in fuel costs, the previous rise in fuel costs is what's causing our budget to go up. Property insurance did increase from last year. It was $113,200 last year. It came in at $130,806 this year. Our auto and liability, we paid $144,784, all slightly increased from last year. Again, we are going to see an increase in health insurance. We just haven't got those numbers in, so I would see the next budget revision. We probably have a revision there as well. We are continuing a path of increased expenditures each revision. We as a council and the city need to look at ways to control those expenditures without cutting our quality of service. So I just wanted to point those few things out. And you can see the numbers on my last page. Basically, we're going to increase the budget by like $89,272. Or no, I'm sorry, decrease the budget. So we're going to have retained earnings of $27,940, whereas we thought we were going to end the budget at $13,117,212. So we're decreasing our retained earnings from what we were previously going to end with. So, and on the last page of the budget gives an overall increase of the fiscal year. No, I'm sorry, not the last page, next. Page 24 of the budget. We're increasing with a negative $382,119 net budget minus resources. While it is a negative budget for the year, we're borrowing from previous retained earnings and resources from prior year.
I don't seem to have that information. Is that in our mailbox? Is it like late today, or we need that a lot?
I don't think I have it either.
Was good, I don't know.
I believe everything you were.
Oh yeah, I mean, all good. I don't have that to follow you, and I appreciate you doing the end of quarter revisions with us, because I know that's something that we were hoping to start doing in these meetings. So thank you for doing that. How are the budget revision letters, request letters? Are those is that working out well?
Very well.
Since you've implemented
did
those.
not have any extra additional requests. It's to come to the police department and talk to the department to make sure that it could not be it needed to be done this fiscal year and not next fiscal year. We worked, I looked at their request and did pass it through for this revision, and that was the fob entry door system.
Okay.
And they did submit that in correctly.
Any major concerns about the budget revisions for the end of 2023?
Like I said in my last note, that we are continuing a path of increased expenditures each revision, and that we need to just, I'm not saying the word cut, I'm saying control costs and look at ways to control those expenditures without cutting our quality of service. They don't want to cut anything that the city does in terms of quality. They just want to control our costs so that we're not, we put out a budget every year and we work really hard to put out that budget every year so that we can give the best quality of service to our citizens. And I could see that every year that sometimes we don't stay within the means of that budget. We're always continually, every quarter, raising the expenditures that we spend. So sometimes we need to learn to stay within the means of that budget whenever possible. No, that's not always possible, but so the most we can stay within the means is possible.
Did you have some? Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry.
So I have ladies up here. So what was for this quarter, the second quarter of the budget, what was I assume increase? So is it that $311,275?
So, it was 100, and we increased it, last time we increased 80,000, we went up to 173,000. Net budget minus resources. So we substantially increased again.
89,000.
So that was the,
I'm just looking at this first page. The beginning budget is the one that we approved effective July 1st, correct? The $18,119,530 on the first page of your memo.
Yeah, 18,119.
That was the initial budget in
And we've
effective
had
July 1st.
substantial increases to increase it to $18,869.
So that $750,000 is a reflection of the first quarter and the second quarter, correct? Thank you.
And we know that over time has been quite a big expense for us. We certainly had a lot of conversations about that as well. And then some of the transfers in, maybe from capital improvement or something like that, that still shows up as an increase to the budget because it wasn't originally put in, but it's coming from a retained earning or a capital improvement fund or something like that.
We haven't made those transfers, those will be done at the year end.
Okay.
So there's nothing coming in as of right now to show a reflection that we're just showing it as an outstanding.
Right. But we have a plan for some of those increases to be covered through other means.
Correct.
Most of the means that way. We know that there's an increase to the budget from what we agreed to on July 1, but we had a conversation on how we're going to fund those increases via capital improvement or other.
Yeah, and there's a couple pages on the back there that show what those are supposed to be spent on.
Okay. And did you have some other information you wanted to give to the council tonight regarding the budgeting process?
Yeah, we'll need approval on the budget revision.
Okay.
Motion.
Motion by Ms. Martin to approve the budget revisions as presented. Second by Honey. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you, council. Thank you, Jennifer. So I
Um,
do have a packet that has some information. So you have some proposed finance policy changes you'd like to go over with us.
Right, I went through and looked to make sure that we didn't have something like this in our, I could not find anything in our, policies currently that we have a budget calendar, and a budget revision policy. I'd like to see this kind of implemented here because, I think that it's something good to get started with before we change anything else. And, I attached an example from the city of Salem and a budget revision policy from just kind of what the city of Harrisonville does. And, I'd like to see kind of something similar to this kind of implemented here. I think they're good examples, and something good. And also the city of Salem also has a very good finance and taxation ordinance. It's something that I'd like to see, something down in the future maybe looking into for us to go to.
So, Lance, correct me where I'm wrong. Kind of feel like Jennifer, as the comptroller of the city, who helps us facilitate our budget primarily, she can approach the council, the city supervisors, or anybody, however she really deems necessary for department worksheets or meeting requests to start breaking this stuff down. Does this process need to be put into an ordinance form, or can we just allow her to basically navigate the process that she feels is best for her to get a budget prepared?
Unless you already have ordinances that are in place, which I don't believe there are, I think the finance operator the comptroller can
Pretty well do it as she sees fit, make requests to us and to the department supervisors and everyone. So, for instance, January, I see like a January, February, March, April, May breakdown, which is great, by the way. fund forecast review in January. Okay, then February, hand out the department worksheets. March, schedule budget meetings, and go over those requests with those department supervisors. Bring the budget to the board by April. That gives us all of May and June to get it balanced properly, rather than cramming in the last 30 days of the year, right? I think that's kind of what you're alluding to here.
Yes.
I'm all for this process, and again, you as a facilitator of the budget, I say, as far as I'm concerned, you pretty well have free reign to make those requests to the departments, to the council. Hey, Delaney, put this on the agenda, please. I need to bring this recommendation to the council that we start X process. Again, unless we need to put this in some sort of ordinance form, I say, by all means.
I don't think you need to put it into an ordinance, but it would probably be a good idea just to grant her that authority by motion so that everybody knows that they're supposed to work with her.
So, would there be a motion from this council to grant Jennifer the authority to approach the council and necessary departments as she sees fit to begin her budgeting process throughout the year? Motion by Honey, second by Grady. You guys know what I'm saying? I mean, I kind of feel like, I think this is fantastic.
Yes, my concern, I'm sorry.
Sure.
My concern, if we don't grant her that authority, we're gonna have people driving stuff in whenever they want to, and that puts her in a bad position, puts us in a bad
I
position.
agree.
So they need to know that when she asks for it,
Sure.
it is a request, but it's also a demand. Get it here or do without the money.
Without it.
So, yes.
Does that sound fair enough to you?
Yeah, I just wanted you all to see what I was gonna propose and make sure it was okay with you guys.
I like
and see what the next process and stuff was, whether it be ordinance or what y'all wanted, so.
Carry a big stick and use it.
Yeah, and again, you have the authority to ask for an agenda item anytime you needed to bring something to the council to make a recommendation to start any sort of budgeting process, as well as reaching out to department heads for worksheets. I mean, you have the authority to do that. You're the one that's going to be facilitating the budget, so I say do it however you see fit. Absolutely.
I mean, obviously, it's setting goals in place and hopefully everything works out to those goals.
Thank you for taking the initiative.
But I don't like to be waiting till the last minute on a lot of things, so.
It'll make everyone's lives a lot easier. Absolutely.
Especially yours.
Yeah.
Now you can have to control.
Anything else to add to that?
No, that's what I have so far.
You got a motion in a second, but I don't think.
Oh, yeah. All in favor say aye to the motion that we previously had made. Opposed? Thank you. Did you get the first and second motion? Thank you for that. Thank you, Jennifer.
Thank you.
On that note, Jennifer had also requested we try to form some sort of salary committee. This would allow her the opportunity to hold some meetings with some of the council members. So along with the budget that we need to have balanced and effective by July 1, we can also start working on our salary schedule. And I know there's a lot of questions about merit increases and cost of living increases and tiers and all kinds of different things. So with that being said, I would like to build an automatic committee that consists of Alderman Honey, Alderman Martin, and Alderman Holt, So at Jennifer's discretion, she can ask for a meeting to be held to start narrowing down the salary process. Also, part of my thinking on that was, thank you, council members, for agreeing to that, since I just told you that I'm volunteering to do that. But also, that will work well around Jennifer's schedule too, because those meetings can be held during the day. They do need to be posted, but we don't have to wait till certain evenings to do this. You guys can work around your own schedules and start attacking some of the salary stuff at your convenience, but also in a timely fashion for Jennifer, as long with the budget process. Do you guys have any objections to that?
No.
I know you're going to be gone for a little while, so. But thank you for your time and your dedication to that. I think it will be a good thing. Do we need a motion to form that committee, or can I just form it?
I believe we just formed it.
Okay, it is formed. Thank you, council members, for that. Fair enough, Jennifer. Does that sound good to you?
Sounds good.
She'll be in touch. All right, moving right along. We've also had some previous discussion about the ACH charges for folks that agreed to auto pay their utility bill for the city of Cuba. This is not something that we have ever charged for in the past. We do have a new module for our billing that does actually have ACH charges tied into it. We asked that Lainey take a deeper look at, what this might cost the city of Cuba and or the consumer as far as the ACH charges actually go. And Lainey, I will let you present what you found, if you would. I think Lainey looked back and just kind of gave a general example over what last month's charges would have been for ACH to the city of Cuba.
If the city would have absorbed the cost of last month's ACH, it would have cost us $436.
So we do charge for credit card fees, and unless there's a change made in the future, we will continue to do that. As of now, we are not charging for ACH. Looks like it would cost us around $400 or $500 a month to absorb that cost. We just need to decide if we want to absorb that cost or if we do want to pass that cost along to the users. And we'll need to get that into some sort of motion so we have a decision made.
Is this strictly credit cards?
No, so it is separate from credit cards. There will still be a processing fee for credit cards like there always has been. And I think it's currently 3%, correct?
Currently 3%.
This is just for folks who fill out the form to have automatic deduction from their business account to pay their utility bill.
How about the citizens?
And citizens as well.
Checking and savings.
Yeah, it comes from your checking or savings. There has not been a charge for it in the past. However, our new module does attach a charge.
So, what's 3.5% for credit card?
Right, and that's not going to
We'll
change.
pass that along.
So, can you figure out what that cost would look like on the average
For what?
for a citizen?
It's actually broken down.
Yeah, so like if we pass it along, I would say, like on an average, it would cost you $2.25 for us to automatically take your payment out of one of your accounts.
So
If you have a really low bill, it'll be $1.75, but on the normal for like last month's, it would be $2.25 per transaction.
and
Not
again,
charged to the customer.
if we attach that fee to the folks who are already currently enrolled in the ACH, the cost to the city would have been about $486 less.
This is a service that we've always offered for free. We've always encouraged people to sign up for it because it is free.
Plus it's automatic.
It is automatic.
Yeah.
It cuts down our foot traffic.
If it
But
was,
if we absorb it, it is an extra cost to the city.
if it was me, I would like to see the city try to be able to absorb the cost, at least for now. If it's something that gets expensive, then we can always revisit it and say, hey, sorry, kind of like credit card fees, this is something that we have to pass along. But if we can find means to absorb it and it doesn't really affect our bottom line too much and it's still something we can offer the folks who want to pay it out of mind, no late fees. I know we have a lot of businesses that run accounts out of state that will usually sign up for this. But we do need to make a decision now that we are actually going to be charged for it on our own, and it's literally up to you guys.
And I did ask the company that we are getting the module from, and they did say that the large majority of their customers have chosen to absorb the ACH fee, but they do still pass along their credit card fees.
And Lainey, refresh my memory, because I know you and I talked about this before, but the $436 roughly a month, we are already paying
We do
an
pay
amount
something
now. Is this, and this was in excess of what we are currently paying, right?
But yeah, this was just, yeah, so if we take that off, I think it would, what is it, like $80, $80, $90 a month? $80 now.
So we are paying something now, this is a little bit more.
Yeah.
You know.
I mean, it would be $400 or $500 a month that we currently were not paying. There's no doubt about that.
Honestly, I'm good either way, as an individual, I don't care, I would pay the $225, but as a city council, I don't really think the $436 a month is gonna eat us alive for the convenience to the citizens. So,
Anybody have a motion either way?
Not least of which, it also is a guaranteed form of payment.
right, the money is going to
Which is
be
worth
paid.
Yeah, I'll make a motion that we absorb it.
I'll
Okay, motion by Grady, second by Martin, to go ahead and try to absorb the ACH cost. Again, we can always revisit and make amendments to that in the future if we need to. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposition to that? Thank you, council. Thank you, Wayne.
We will have to do a new contract. They will address a new contract, and do we need to do anything with the 3.5%?
I did not use talk to Lance about that yet, so I'll have to.
Give me a copy of the contract and we'll have the orders for it.
It's a contract with the company, not with all the people who are currently having that.
Well, we'll have to send that paperwork out, but that'll come later.
And again, more information to come on the credit card fees, but we are currently charging those credit card fees and will continue to do so. Incentive committee recommendation. President of Cuba Development Group, Mr. Lashley, as well as some members of the committee, basically just kind of looked at the abatement program that we have. This is attached in your packet. The process is the exact same. We kind of updated this a couple of years ago. We put it into ordinance form or made revisions to the existing ordinance. I forget the exact process at the time. Some of these changes that you see here that are actually highlighted on the first page, these are not any type of change to the existing process. It's more of just wording. And then, yeah, if you want to add some of that, add to that, you can. Basically, we're just wanting to approve and update some of the wording, but this is not changing the process, correct?
Just clarify and simplify things. So the process will still be the very same. And then there is, like whenever a company submits their notice of intent, he created a form for them instead of just whatever you might want to submit. Same with the quarterly report. So it's just everybody's on the same page submitting the same paperwork.
So the addition is a quarterly report form, which we've decided that we want to require anybody who is taking advantage of the abatement program to submit the quarterly report to make sure they're still qualifying for the program. So you'll see that form attached, as well as some other further just clarifications. And I guess we need a motion to approve these, and if you guys are okay with that, we can do so tonight, or if you want to take this home and study it, we can table it. Doesn't really matter to me. It's just something we need to get on our radar. Does anybody have any questions about it specifically, or would you like time to review it, or is there any further discussion to be had?
Didn't change policy?
Did not.
No.
Except for the implementation of the quarterly report form, which is.
I make a motion, we accept the changes.
Okay. Motion by Grady, second by Honey to go ahead and accept the clarifications brought forth to the abatement program. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you. That copies of that are available for anybody who's interested in reviewing them. Request for qualifications for legal services. So as part of some of the changes that we want to implement moving forward, I forgot about the other Cuba development program. I'm sorry. We did approve the Cuba Development Group to get a bid for a new sign at the industrial park. We saw some illustrations of that, and I believe we saw the total amount for $2,320 in the past. Is that correct? I think some of the holdup was just determining where those funds were going to come from. Is that correct?
That is correct.
Okay, and where did we determine those funds would come from?
General fund, it cannot be used for cannot use capital improvement fund as it's not a capital asset. Per the policy, we looked at that after the last meeting.
Okay.
So, we looked at the general fund, because the EOC is paid out of the general fund, that would have to come from general fund, funds. That's what we discussed, so we use general fund, and then I can find money in the budget to do that.
So do you see any issue with approving the bid for $2,320 we paid for out of the general fund?
Motion.
Okay, motion by Ms. Martin to move forward with the $2,320 out of the general fund for the industrial park signage. Is there a second? Second by Tony. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Do we know if Doug gonna do this?
Is he gonna take as far as ordering and making sure it's all completed? I would assume
Yeah, I will just email him tomorrow, tell him it's approved.
he can do the legwork. Work. Thank you, council. Thank you, Jennifer. Okay, request for qualifications for legal services. As we know, some of our contract labor is going to have to go out for RFQs. We started this with our attorney. We asked our existing counsel to prepare an RFQ that we can publish in a local newspaper, as well as any other publication deemed necessary. Basically, you can read it, but the city of Cuba, Missouri, seeking proposals for the position of city councilor, and so on and so forth. Lance, do you have an opinion on where we should run this RFQ to solicit the necessary bids?
I don't think that you'll get it much in the way of a response from local papers. So, first thought that I have is Lawyers Weekly.
Okay. Is that something Laney could look into, and do we have to have a sign up for that, or how do you publish on that? Can municipalities do that?
I think you can put in request for an ad,
Okay.
and I can give Laney information on how to
Okay.
get in contact with her.
So we want to work on getting this published via maybe some of the local newspapers, as well as possibly the Lawyers Weekly, which is an online or an email or an online site.
It's basically a newspaper for attorneys.
What kind of radius are we, that would go everywhere, sure, but using newspapers, are we looking at a radius of like
That would be-
Lebanon, Jefferson, I mean, what would you think, we're going to find people clearly in the city of Cuba and in Crawford County, we don't actually have a lot of attorneys.
There are a couple of law firms that travel all throughout the state, and that's because that's all they do is municipal work. I don't know how it works for them, but I know that the city of Raleigh's contract is with a company, Lauber, and their primary office is in Kansas City because they have a satellite office in Jefferson City. I don't know how many people will be interested, but I don't think you'll get much of a response if you just put it in the local paper.
How long should we keep this active? I mean, if we publish it in local newspapers and then obviously the Lawyers Weekly, I mean.
I would say 30 days.
Okay.
Do you have a subscription to that Lawyers Weekly?
I do.
Is it pretty boring reading?
Depends if you're a lawyer.
I would say that's accurate. It covers a lot of different topics. They're all legal topics. I read about half of it every week.
Do you read the ads? Because that's what we want.
Honestly, I can tell.
So would it be fair to include in the advertisement to have any RFQs turned into Cuba City Hall by 3:30 p.m. on February 29th? Just so as we start running these things, we can.
I would see that in plenty of time.
Okay, so it might take a week or so to get the Lawyers Weekly thing activated and start running an ad in it, but we can just include this language and all interested parties have a request for qualification turned into Cuba City Hall by 3:30 p.m. on Thursday, February 29th. And that should give us adequate time to review those. Also, if we're only getting, that'll give us adequate time to review those. We'll see what we get. If we need to extend it at the time, we can.
It's for the fiscal budget year, right?
Correct.
That's plenty enough time.
Yeah. What the conversation that we had about that to that point, Warren, was we typically will do mayoral appointments for the city attorney in April. But Lance's contract is technically in place till the end of the fiscal year, is that correct?
It runs fiscal year to fiscal year, is my understanding, and the intent of that was so that if there needs to be additional time for a request for proposal, or if there's need to have interview process, that the incoming mayor would have the opportunity to do that if he chose.
Fair enough. Well, we'll start by running the advertisement, the publications, and we have a due date, and we'll see what we get. Motion to allow Laney to go ahead and publish this and the necessary publications for motion. City Council. Motion by Grady, second by Laney. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Opposed? Thank you, Council. Police holiday pay option. Chief, you have something for us on that this evening? As well as police chief report, so you might as well come on up and take the floor, sir. It is your time to shine.
I have two officers that, have asked and inquired about, opting out of the holiday pay. Now, they are the command staff, and they do work pretty much set hours Monday through Friday, but generally a Monday through Thursday at 10.5-hour shifts. And they were wanting to opt out of receiving holiday checks in lieu of just getting the holidays off.
Okay. So if there's,
Shiny.
if there's scheduled work,
They'd be just like public works employees, city hall employees, me. You know, if there's a holiday, like public works, if there's a holiday and it's getting off, you give them a day off, get a day off. It doesn't go into bank and get paid, those hours don't get paid out to them any longer.
these guys are they normally scheduled on holidays?
They work set schedules Monday through Friday generally.
Whether it's a holiday or not?
Mhm.
Okay.
But they would like to have the holiday off during that week, because they're off on weekends. They don't run a Kelly shift like all the other officers. The only problem with continuing even though they still work Monday through Friday, they flex their times to cover shifts. They flex their times to, like we're down an officer, and we're going to be down 2 officers here shortly. They take turns making sure those shifts get covered so that we're not down manpower. They still put in the hours they need to, aside from, let's say there's a holiday, minus 8 hours for that day, they would still put in the additional hours needed for the rest of the week.
In order to fulfill 40.
Fulfill if they have to fill for another officer.
So if they were scheduled to work those 8 hours, they're not going to because they're gonna flex that time, where do we get the people to cover for them?
I don't understand the question.
Well, they work Monday through Friday typically. 90% of our holidays seem to fall on Monday, that's kind of a legal thing. So that would be a day they would typically work. They're asking to have that day off, and they will make up those 8 hours some other time. Is that correct?
They would just get holiday pay, they wouldn't have to work their
Are they gonna
hours.
work the holiday or not work the holiday? Is the question.
Well, they're asking not to work the holiday,
Okay,
so
so-
that therefore they wouldn't receive holiday pay anymore.
I got that.
Okay.
So,
So if
Holiday
another
falls-
officer was sick and they had to say, well, I'm gonna have to come in, I'm gonna work that day, well, instead of Monday, they would just take Tuesday off to cover the
Okay.
shift for Monday,
okay, which they
and they still
But
wouldn't receive a holiday
They
check.
typically would have been working on Monday. So they're not going to work on Monday because it's a holiday. Right?
Correct.
Somebody is going to have to work on Monday who wasn't scheduled to work on Monday to cover for them.
One of the other officers.
Or the other officers is going to have.
No other officers work for Ben or Steve. They work their own stuff, they're not on a schedule.
Okay, well, I just feel like it's probably something we need to look into more closely before we would make a decision on that, because I think there's probably a lot of other things that might float in there.
They're not, I've been
Plus,
through it, I mean,
but-
they're not on a set schedule.
Okay,
I
but I
know,
still.
I've been taking care of the police department, they're not on a set schedule, that somebody else would cover their shifts. If they're off, nobody covers for them.
Okay,
If
That's
if an officer covering a shift for patrol, they step up and they cover the patrol shift.
I got that, but I think there may be other issues come into play that maybe you
If
haven't
it's an issue, they
considered.
don't do it.
Then,
They just
and what about the rest of the force? Why are we only
They don't
thinking
want
of
to
these
opt out
two?
of it,
Well,
because it doesn't work.
Well,
for
can
them.
road officers
Holiday.
even opt out of it? Because they gotta be available.
Do what now?
Like a road officer couldn't opt out of that, correct?
No, they can't.
so,
They have to work holidays, that's just the way it is.
Right.
so basically you're saying these guys work 40-hour weeks?
No, they work 43-hour weeks. I work a 43-hour week.
I still would like to have more input from
I mean,
finance.
take it to committee then.
No need, they don't want it. If it's a big deal, then I don't opt out.
Well,
We
I
don't
just,
know if it's a big deal.
I don't know if it's a big deal, I would say take it to committee, and then they can bring something to the council.
Just because you come in here and say, well, this is the way it's gonna be, doesn't mean.
I didn't say this house company, I'm asking.
Lance, do you have any thoughts on it?
It's pretty simple.
It's that simple, it won't take us long to look into it.
Okay.
Any thoughts, Lance?
I think there are some things that I would wanna know about before we talk about it. For one, I know who Ben is, I'm assuming that, we talk about Ben.
Yes.
I don't know who Steve is.
That's
I don't know the position,
Steve's the lieutenant.
okay? I still need to have a little more information to know, if we're just talking about command staff, somebody still has to be on duty. We need to, before people say yes or no, I think it needs to be looked at.
I agree with Debbie that it needs to be tabled and the committee needs to look into it and clarify, just clarify. It may not be a big deal, it may not.
It may not be, but I'm
Well,
also.
we're not intimate with the schedules and who does
Yeah.
what and where, so.
Right,
I
I
understand,
understand.
say, take
What I'm
it.
saying is, what I'm saying by they'll just opt out of it, or not opt out, but they'll just don't worry about it, is there's no time taking up everybody's time to try to discuss and try to figure it out. There's really not much to figure out, it's just,
So they didn't really care where we did in the first place.
it actually saves the city $8,000 or so, but
We think
they'll take the money, it's no big deal. I mean, they were just trying to make things a little easier for themselves and everything else.
And I think we should do it. I think we should look into it. And take a good
I'm
sharp
all for
look at
looking
it.
into it, I'm just asking you to take it to committee.
Yeah.
That's all I'm asking you to do. But if you don't want to, you don't have to.
More than welcome to. It's just, I feel like that, Ms. Ely, you're hard for that.
Well,
If it was any other department,
it's
for Public
perspective.
Works, and they were needing to change something, I would definitely recommend that they take it to committee and just have a formal meeting about it, so all those questions can be presented, and then they can bring us something, and very well likely be able to approve it. That's just my recommendation, is take it to committee, have a meeting. If they want to. Certainly don't have to.
They just said that if it's a big deal, it's no big deal. If that makes sense.
I can't tell you if it's a big deal or not right now.
Yeah. Okay.
But I guarantee you the committee could come to the council and say, it's not a big deal, we recommend that you do it. Probably all I ever need to hear.
Okay.
So just think about it.
All right. Committee menu is.
Anything else on your police chief report this evening?
Nuisance reports, I haven't heard anything from Cameron on nuisance.
Grass cutting.
I mean, there's snow in the yard, I don't know if people want to bring that up, or cleaned up or not, but, I haven't heard from him, but I know the weather's been really cold, so it really hasn't been out there, and taking care of animals and helping with that more so than normal, so. I do have one guy who has made a complaint, I believe it's Mike Zacher. He owns the, apartments on Maple Shade in, Washington. It's a fourplex or something. But John Woodward owns some property right behind his apartments that he rents, and I guess he wants a tree had blown over, and he wants the tree cleaned up. He wants to know how we're going to go about getting that tree cleaned up. Now Cameron has tried to reach out to John Woodward and get some information. I've talked to John Woodward. He doesn't even live in the town or live in the state anymore. We don't know where he lives. I know he used to be an attorney, I think. I don't know if you know around this area. He was an attorney here, somewhere.
Yeah.
I retired.
Steve called us about his practice.
Yeah, so it's been quite a while.
But it's
So-
his tree that fell on Zacher's property, more or less?
No,
No, it's a big tree.
it's
that's
on
in
his
the lot.
own property,
It
but
just needs to be cleaned up.
he wants to know if the city's gonna clean it up for him and charge him for it.
Oh, okay.
Well, he wanted me to send him a fine. I don't send fines, we send charges, and I don't know that the tree has fallen over when he doesn't know about it, and he's been told about it. He said he's trying to contact people to try to clean it up, and I guess because it's an old rotten tree, nobody wants to be like, oh, hell, I'll go clean it up for you and take the wood. Nobody's willing to do that. It's just that old tree.
Yeah, I mean, all I know we can do is try to get notice to the property owner. And obviously, you guys are working on that.
He's been noticed, he's been told and stuff. I don't know that we can get his address, because he's like, I don't know whether my tree's even bothering anybody.
Right.
If my tree fell over, what's his? No, he's an attorney, I don't know, he threw out some attorney words at me and stuff like that. And,
So what do we do about a tree that fell on somebody's property that the adjoining property, the neighbor doesn't like looking at it?
Does it fit into the ordinance as a nuisance?
Kinda.
Well, the grass cutting does, we always try to get the grass
I
cut.
mean, what I would suggest is talk to your municipal prosecutor and find out whether or not he believes that a summons should be issued.
Okay.
like we would do with.
I think we're gonna have a problem, I think what we're gonna have a problem is if we send that issue on there, I don't know if we can find his. Have we been able to find John's address?
We have that in our building system.
Do you have it? Okay. We did.
Well, we have had to go on folks' property and mow their grass and.
Like,
clean
his
their property.
address, where he currently lives. You have it? Okay.
He gets his motor bill still, we send him to, I think you're right, it's in Indiana or something.
Indiana, yeah, I think so, okay. That might be right.
So, back up just a second, but he is aware of it, so how did he become aware of it? I mean, did you say he is aware of it?
We were able to find his phone number.
Oh,
I
okay,
don't think we got it from here though.
okay,
I don't know how we got it.
so verbal communication.
Just verbal.
So if we have an address on file that we think is good, we need to send an official notice, like we would Cameron would anybody else, and go through that process.
Yeah.
And that's what, that could be our response to Mr. Zacher, is we finally have a good address, to send them certified mail.
Right, Cameron says he isn't, we don't find the address and stuff, I figured he'd go through the process up here, he did not. I don't know how
Let's start with that, and then bring it to the individual's attention, and then if we're not getting anything done, then just like grass cutting, we'll move to the next
Alright.
phase of things.
We'll talk to the city prosecutor first and foremost.
Okay, anything else?
I want to talk about the canine now for a little bit. We're not able to use the canine now, effectively. We're not able to get the training for him because he has been trained on marijuana with the laws, in reference to marijuana stuff have all changed. Doing vehicle searches and stuff like that is really not an effective dog to use. Highway patrol can't use them. Obviously, county's not going to use them. They're removing their dogs as well and retiring them. So we've been kicking around the idea of maybe we should retire Vando. Our previous canine, Ben Weber, has made verbal statements that he'd be interested in taking Vando for the rest of Vando's life and, caring for him. I guess we'd have to, if that would be the case, if that's what the council wanted to do, I think the council would have to settle him for $1 since we bought him for $1. I don't know how that works contract-wise since he was under contract for purchase. We got him on a grant.
I think you have to check on the grant to make sure that.
Grants, no, the dog was released to us. So do we have to sell him or anything, or can we just be like, here's the dog?
You can retire the dog.
And that's the officer that was in charge of the dog anyway, is that correct?
He was, Ben Weber was. We have Kevin Ziegler's our canine officer now. But being the fact that I know in Missouri you don't have to be certified, it's best to be certified, have a certified dog, and we're not even being certified because of the way he was originally trained.
No, that makes sense, I mean, I get it, it's.
The only thing that Weber's asked is if we do retire him to him and let him have the dog, he would like to have the kennel or portion of the kennel to keep him in and stuff like that.
So are there any guidelines about, because I don't know about the dogs, does the dog need to go to someone who has experience handling that kind of dog? I just don't want to get in a situation where you have 10 other people going, well, I would have liked to have that dog. And,
We would only allow him to be with someone that the dog has been with.
okay.
And he's been a canine handler with him and has been with him before. So that's going to be number one. I don't care if 400 people in the city.
Where's the
Keep
kennel
it
at, or the kennel equipment that he's interested in, where's that at?
It's currently at Kevin Ziegler's place, our canine officers.
Oh, okay.
So, I mean, the canine situation, I think that we have invested a lot into our canine program. Trying to find canines on grants right now are a little tough, but I think that there are some canines available that I could get into the budget and get a partial or whatever to purchase a new one to keep our canine program moving forward. Because we already had the canine officer, the equipment and stuff like that. Now, if we did give the canine kennel to Weber to take care of Vanville, Kevin has offered that, hey, I have half a shed and my own kennel that I can create for a new dog. that's new, that's in the future after budget, or for the upcoming budget to deal with right now. On the table is how we want to.
Yeah. I mean, are you looking, I guess, to just immediately retire the service animal to the canine, more or less?
More may as well, yeah, as soon as Weber would be willing to take it.
Motion to retire.
Motion to retire the canine and put into the ownership of Mr. Weber.
Second that.
Motion by Tony,
Before
second
you-
by,
Before you, can you make the motion with or without that partial can't deal with the dog?
is that gonna be a determining factor whether he's able to take the dog or not?
I think so.
I mean,
Motion.
The city paid for that kennel, didn't they?
yeah, I don't know if it was part of the grant. Did part of the grant pay for that kennel, or was that just paid for separately? I don't
I thought
remember.
the city remember for that. I think that was part of the grant.
I think it's part of the grant.
Yeah.
I don't know, I mean, Lance, any objection to that? I mean, if it was technically city property, the kennel, but we're also in a unique situation where the dog needs a good home that might also need a kennel too. I mean,
I know that you can release the dog, because the dog is always released on, at the end of the grant. What I don't know is whether or not there's anything that says any of the other equipment can be released. And that's something that is different from grant to grant. I don't know whether if they were the same grant or how that was even done, I don't remember.
No, I believe that grant was in the 50/50 grant that we got from Department of Natural Resources, is that what it was? Department of Ag, I think that.
I would suggest that you do a motion to whether or not to retire the dog. Start there. We can look at the next meeting to determine whether or not
Maybe we can just loan him the kennel.
Yeah.
I agree.
Did Mark Robertson express interest in that dog?
Not lately, huh?
When he left, he wanted.
When he left, he wanted the city to sell the dog.
Yeah.
To Gasconade, I believe.
but yes, Nate can't really use a dog trained on marijuana at this point.
Nah, this
I think he wanted to,
not.
so he has.
Nobody can use the dog anymore.
Well, we
I
can
think
make
Rob
these,
wanted him personally though, and I know he has a kennel.
Hmm.
So if that's,
I talked to Rob maybe a month ago now, that he said the situation at that time, he didn't have.
okay.
No longer.
I'm all for it working out however it can work out. We just have to look at some of the fine print, I guess, on the kennel. So we can table it all right now, or we can make a motion to retire the animal. I don't know if that does anything for you at this point in time.
I think.
I still have to stay in somebody's possession.
I think the motion to go ahead and retire the dog.
Okay.
And allow Weber to take him.
Okay.
Um,
And Weber, as long
I
as
think
Weber's
we
okay.
own the kennel. Without giving it to him.
You could loan them, sure.
We own the kennel.
And then on a concrete pad?
Huh?
It's not on a concrete pad?
No, it's on a I don't know, what are those, composite boarding pad?
It's not permanent fixture, it's movable. I mean, again, the technicalities of the equipment, I mean, I don't wanna do anything that we're not supposed to do. I would love to see the dog in the equipment and go to somebody who's gonna take care of it. That's not the issue. If we need to look into the grant wording or agree to loan the equipment, doesn't matter to me. Just whatever our
Well,
attorney
we
thinks
can
is best.
make a phone call to the Department of Ag and get some answers from
That's
them.
what I was gonna suggest.
Okay.
They'll tell us exactly what we can do with it.
And a retirement party?
Unless you want to go.
Okay, we have a motion to retire the animal by Tony. Second by Randy. All in favor to retire the canine, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Retired, and we'll circle back on what we do.
Sounds good. That's all I have.
Thanks, sir. Anything else for Doug? Thank you, Doug. All right, only have one bill this evening, so we'll jump right into it. Is there a motion for the first reading of bill number 2124? Motion by, not everybody. Motion by Granny, seconded by Holt. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? First reading, please.
An ordinance approving the rebate application of American Precision Die Casting made under city's utility and incentive program.
Heard first reading, is there a motion to accept?
Motion.
Motion by Honey, second by Grady, poll the council, please.
Holt,
Yes.
Gray,
Yes.
Honey,
Yes.
Martin,
Yes.
Copeland.
First reading moves to vote 5-0. Motion for second reading, bill number 2124.
Motion.
Motion by Holt, second by Honey. All in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? Second reading, please.
An ordinance approving the rebate application of American Precision Die Casting made under the city's utility and incentive program.
For second reading, is there a motion to accept? Motion by Grady, second by Honey. Poll the council, please.
Copeland, Martin,
Yes.
Honey,
Yes.
Gray,
Yes.
Holt.
Yes.
Okay, second reading moves to vote 5-0. That is now a special ordinance.
Sean, favor.
Number
2124.
2124.
No, it
That was
says
the
it's
building.
passed.
Oh, 903.
903, special ordinance 903.
I gave him the city.
Okay, special ordinance 903. Alrighty, brings us into new old finished business. Ms. Copeland came in right in time. What do you have for us for a new old unfinished business?
That is, we got the warming center open. I want to thank all the community and citizens for everything they've done. They've donated a lot and they're doing a great job. I want to just thank everybody. That's all I have.
On that, since you brought it up, thank you for that. We do need to probably determine the length that this thing's gonna stay open.
Saturday.
Okay, we gotta return it back to a rentable building, and folks do have reservations on the property. I know we do have volunteers that are staying there, supervising the tenants or the folks that are utilizing the space, correct?
We have police officers coming in, yes.
Okay. Do you have is there a deadline Saturday at
There is,
noon, or?
you know,
We need to make a formal agreement on how long we can let this stay open.
well,
Because
you know me, I like to keep open till it warms up, but since
That's
people
tomorrow.
think, well, we rented this, we need this, what's more important, the citizens or rent the
well,
building?
it's
So I'm saying Saturday.
it's a city building. It's
I know, I'm
was
saying
never meant
Saturday.
to be a permanent warming shelter. I
I'm saying
get it.
Saturday. What time, I don't know yet.
There are folks that haven't rented Saturday. It might need to be.
Yeah,
cleaned.
we got hold, did you ever get a hold of them?
Never heard from anybody.
I would say Friday.
We figured get out about 8.
Yeah, I mean, I think we owe it to the folks who haven't rented that have probably paid for it that have it cleaned, and the deposit, I mean, there's no deposit on it right now, so. Again, I think we need to come up with something permanent within this community.
I think they have down there, I haven't heard of it, like 8 o'clock
Unfortunately,
Saturday, Friday,
that line
Saturday.
cannot be permanent. I would love for us to have something permanent. I'm glad that it's worked out this far and there's enough volunteers to sustain it, but we do have to return it back to its original use, which is a hall, for folks to utilize. So, you know, with that being said, I think we need to all agree, if we can, a date and a time to where we have to say, okay, the temporary warming shelter is now closed until further notice.
Cody,
Yes.
we're trying to call the one that's got it rented, see if we can be out there by 8 o'clock Saturday, because they want it by Saturday afternoon.
But then we gotta pay overtime, get somebody to come in and clean it on
Yeah, it's
Saturday morning.
it's pretty bad. I mean, just because of the salt and that.
Yeah, we don't want that, I mean,
We are working with the ones that rented it.
okay.
We're trying to get a hold of them, let us know, can we say Saturday, we have to leave Friday. We'll know, so we can get this call.
I would say either way, whatever they say, it would definitely have to be vacated by Friday morning.
Yeah, so we can get, I
So it
mean,
can be cleaned.
I'm sure it's got things to do, but we gotta get our guys in there to get it back up to par, right?
You're talking Saturday morning.
No,
On Friday morning,
So they.
so you can clean it Friday. Otherwise, you're gonna have to come and clean it on Saturday, or somebody will. Right.
Probably 2 hours.
Okay, so
That's it.
Friday noon.
I say this, let them work it out.
Friday noon.
Whoever rented it, and us to work it out. We will be out there, whatever they say. They want it Friday, we're out there Friday. They want it Saturday, we're out of there. Let us talk to them and see.
Right, I'm just trying to, if we need to get city employees help to clean it, we need to have, Jerry and his guys need to know when they need to go in there and do that.
Honestly,
Without Saturday, because we don't want to come in on Saturday to do it. Makes sense, you know what I'm saying?
I know what you're saying, I'm tired.
Jerry, what are your thoughts on that?
I mean, really just run the machine over it, that's all you have to do. clean the floors and check the bathrooms, you know, clean all that. Couple hours, I mean, it doesn't matter to me, when we do it Friday at 1 o'clock,
Right.
before we go home, or
I'll be there.
Saturday morning at 10 o'clock, whatever
They
they're
got
on.
the time, I don't know.
That's up to you guys, I mean, you know,
Yeah.
we gotta have a couple hours for
Right.
two guys. You know,
I think that. these
Friday at
people
noon?
Rented it in good faith, it's really not up to them to negotiate when they can get it, they rented it in order to.
Yeah, they deserve to get a clean
So,
building
I
that
think
they're,
it's up to us to say,
Yeah.
this is the time we'll be closing this so that our team can clean it up for the next people. I assume that the volunteers will be taking the bedding and the food and the water and all that out. Will it be left there?
We have everything still there. I think that's, like Toby said, it's a citizen Cuba building. The citizens are using it. I don't see no problem with us getting with them. They want a Saturday, we're out of it. They want a Friday, we're out of it. Give them us a chance. It's a citizens building. It's the citizens that are using it right now.
right, and they've been using it and it's worked out great, but we've got to return it back to,
I know, I think it's gonna work out great. Nobody worries about let us handle it, we're out of there. Everything's gonna be great.
maybe others will see the generosity of the volunteers and being able to utilize the city building, and that'll open up their hearts to you, letting them use some of their space.
If they have already worked it out, why are we jumping into something we don't need to jump into right now? Let's see.
Right, I think we need to give our city guys enough notice to clean the building and return it to the condition it would be in for
If
anybody else
not, we'll clean it.
renting the property.
We will clean it, if not. We don't have to call city guys in and say, we will clean that.
I make a motion that we ask them to vacate the building by 8 o'clock Friday.
How can you make a motion, we don't even know what's going on, Debbie?
Excuse
You
me.
ain't even been there.
Because we can, and we need to.
By
We need
1
to.
o'clock Friday.
We need to determine when it's got to be relinquished back over to the city building for the folks who have it rented this weekend.
Right, so 1 o'clock Friday, if it's vacated by 1 o'clock Friday, that'll give them tonight, Thursday night, Friday, till 1 o'clock.
How in the heck
So,
can you all sit here and make a decision when none of you have even been there?
For one, I've been there.
I was-
I'm sorry, yes, go, you
I took
have
food,
been.
I
I
took
apologize for that.
I took water, I took chips, I took fruit
That's
snacks,
what
I
you
took
have in there.
toothbrushes, and I'm the one that allowed the use of the building in the
That's
first
right.
place. Not for a political
But I'm
stunt or
just saying,
anything
this
like
ain't
that.
concerned, there's
Okay.
nothing to do with that.
We've got to return it back to its normal purpose, Kevin.
I'm
We've
thankful
got to
that
get
it
it
happened
clean.
Saturday.
My motion was.
We have a motion
1 o'clock
on the
Friday.
floor for 1 p.m., or to be vacated by 1 p.m. on Friday.
And so-
Is there a second to that before we go any further? 1 p.m. on Friday.
I second that.
Okay, so we have a first and a second for the property to be emptied at 1 p.m. on Friday. That'll give our team enough time to get in there and get it ready for the renters on Saturday. Now, that's a first and a second. Is there any other discussion to that?
I got discussing to that.
Okay.
You were there, I apologize, you were, and Jeff Dawes, I know was there.
Uh-huh.
Now, Debbie said she went in today? Okay, there's three. But I'm saying this, the Citizens Cuba building,
And it's been open since
and what's the
Saturday.
best? What's the best thing? Save a life? Yes.
Kevin?
All right, I'm done.
It's currently open. It's been open since Saturday. The building was not designed
Yeah,
for
we're
that.
gonna leave Saturday.
But we're allowing it to be used. I hope that somebody else will step up and use their space if there's a need. But unfortunately, we do have to return our building back to its original use. We can't keep it as a warming shelter for eternity. We just simply can't. I mean, there's going to be people having wedding receptions and other things. We do need to put a plan in place. We were able to allow it to be used. There was a lot of volunteers, including myself, who donated to it. I'm glad it's worked out. But we do have to ultimately return it back to its normal use. There is an event there Saturday. There are people who have paid their money to rent it, including their deposit. And I think we owe it to them to allow them to have use of the building. So there is a motion and a second for vacating by Friday at 1 p.m.
If it wasn't rented, I wouldn't have a problem leaving it open.
Well, yeah, and even that, we've got to have something.
Right.
We've got to have something. But it sounds like it might go a couple different ways, so we might as well pull the council on this one, so we're not doing ayes and nays and trying to figure out who did what.
So you're not gonna see if they work something out for Saturday? They may have worked something out, you just want to cut it off Friday.
Well, we're gonna determine that through a vote, but I think that, yeah, we need to return the building back to its normal.
I understand, but I'm saying this, maybe they've already worked something out, that's what I'm saying. Generally, shut it down Friday unless they've already worked something out and let them have Saturday.
So then when would we shut it down after that?
I think they're talking like Saturday, 8 o'clock in the morning. But I don't know, that's what I'm thinking, but if they stay the night Friday, we get them out about 8 o'clock out here.
Kevin, can you give us a number of, approximately, I'm sure it changes from night to night, about how many people are staying overnight, about how many?
It went from 1 to 3 to 5, 3, something like how many people used it. Some people don't stay all night, some comes in 2 or 3 in the morning, 5 in the morning, it's odd. We probably got about 25 people that used it.
I
Within this
think,
whole bit of
first
time.
of all, we need documentation on that. Secondly, you may have a degree in counseling, I don't know, I do. And maybe we need to talk to people with more social work experience, but it's been said we have a homeless problem in town, and I don't doubt that. However, based on the number of people that are actually utilizing that, I really think statistics will tell you that it's not getting the people to come to us, it's getting us to the people. And I think if your goal is really to help these people, which I'm sure it is, then we want to help as many as we can. And the help is probably more effective if we had a manner, a way, a drop-off point, whether it's the food pantry, the fire department, I don't know where we can leave water, we can leave gloves, we can leave hats, we can leave tarps, we can leave whatever it is, blankets, whatever it is they're needing. Because most of these people, and again, if you look at the statistics, it will tell you that they don't choose to come to these shelters. They don't really want to be identified in large masses. They don't want the police presence. They have adapted quite well, and I think if we had a place for them to come and get the things that they need to stay warm, it would be more effective in helping a greater number of people.
Cody, Debbie's totally wrong. Number one, it's not a homeless shelter. It's not a homeless shelter.
Regardless,
It's a warming
regardless,
shelter.
the
for
building,
everybody.
the building has to be returned back.
I know that,
Yes.
but what Debbie's saying, oh, it's a homeless shelter. No, it is a
That's
homeless
what
shelter.
this motion is for.
Because you are more.
Will you pull the council, please, ma'am, on having this space vacated by 1 p.m. on Friday, so that way we can get it clean? And then we'll see where we're at.
Copeland,
No.
Martin,
Yes.
Tony,
Yes.
Greg,
Yes.
Holt.
I'm gonna say no, because I like what you said about getting this person to see if they're gonna be out. If they get out, you would go ahead and clean it. About the, on Saturday, was it Saturday you said to clean it, or get out on Friday and clean it?
You said Saturday.
Well, you're saying Saturday now.
Yeah, you can cover it. It's day night Friday, they're out Saturday
You
morning.
did say Friday, you said something about Friday at 8 o'clock too, and then you changed it to
We
Saturday.
need that Friday. We need that Friday.
Right now, we have a motion that did carry for
This is
the
a joke.
recovery, return back to the city at noon on Friday.
1 p.m.
At 1 p.m.
on Friday, correct?
That will allow our folks to get in there and do the things that they would normally do after there's renters in the building, and then the folks that do have it rented out for the weekend can get keys to Recline in the shape that one would normally get it. And again, I thank everybody for their time and generosity. Kevin called me Saturday morning. I said, absolutely. Get the keys. Make sure it's manned overnight. We can't have people in there unsupervised. I know there's a lot of people that donated time, a lot of people that donated resources, again, including myself. I'm happy that it worked out. But at the end of the day, this can't be a permanent thing. We've got to get it returned back.
We didn't take it permanent. We said just give it for Saturday. All we
got
want.
until Friday at 1, and that's.
That is wrong. That's a joke. All the hard work we put into it, all the planning, you all that wasn't there.
If anybody thinks that all the generosity is a joke, I'm very, very sorry for that. I think it was a very nice thing that was able to be done. Anything else, Kevin?
No.
Ms. Martin?
Just a couple things, the rock building, Kim has, with the tourism, has gone through there, looked at it. Jerry's doing some repair work on there to make it usable by spring. Lainey did a great job getting us information this month. Thank you for that. And I hate to beat this dog to death, but we really definitely do need some sort of protocol for these situations. We have an emergency director, but emergencies are not, unfortunately, weather is not considered an emergency. So we need a way of setting something like this up. And as I said before, even though I was wrong, I think we will be more effective if we can allow those people to come and get things that they need rather than. For the number of people that we're serving over there as a place to spend the night and stay warm, it's kind of cavernous over there. So I agree with Cody that we probably need to find other locations that are more conducive to the numbers that we're servicing. The community came together. It's amazing the amount of food, blankets, things that are over there, and they've done a great job. But we need to find probably a plan where we involve the Ministerial Alliance, whether they house them in churches, the food pantry, whatever, that would be more conducive to the number of people that are willing to come out and take advantage of that.
Agree. Mr. Rowan?
The county also has shelters, still will fire departments open 24/7 for that very reason. So, there are cases like this. Anyhow, the tourism meeting we had this week, there's an eclipse of the sun going to happen April 8th, and it's supposedly going to be dead overhead down by 44. So what they're wanting to do is go out nationwide and advertise the RV park as a possibility to use for 2 or 3 days during the
Hood Park? Oh, okay. Yeah, we need to figure out how that works for the public.
Okay.
Don't really have anything really set yet, but I suppose we could. As far as permitting or paying or whatever. I mean, we do it for the fair board. I guess it would be something very similar to that.
Probably online.
Okay, that's an issue.
Yeah, April 8th is this year. 80-something days. So with your blessing, I'll go ahead and start looking into that. Maybe pay online.
Bring us some. See what we can get figured out. Mr. Grady?
No.
Mr. Holt?
Cody, I forgot something.
Yes.
I'm confused for it. I just don't understand something. Maybe y'all can help me out on this one.
We'll give it a shot, Kevin.
Alright, here's what I got. Boy, we all run for election. I'm not campaigning. I got before. We all run for election. We knock on the door. We say we're going to be here for you. Help you all out best we can. You got a problem, we'll bring it to the council. We're going to support everybody. Let us know you got problems. We're going to take care of that problem. But yet, other than you, Debbie, and Jeff Bowser, no one went to help the citizens of Cuba in a time of need, emergency. This is not campaigning. I'm talking.
Yeah, I'm gonna.
What I'm going to say, April, you're going to see these people
grandstanding and
knocking on the door.
Can I make a motion to adjourn?
That is not campaigning.
Is there a motion to adjourn? Motion by Grady. Is there a second? Second. Second by Honey. All in favor say aye. 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 Is there a nay? All right, meeting adjourned.